Hello and welcome to this deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about photo editing made easy with a simple tool that's within the program called Snap Edit. To use Snap Edit or to get to Snap Edit, simply place an image or clip art here on the page. Click on the clip art or the image. We're going to talk about this one today. This one that looks like an iris. This is your Snap Edit. So when we click on Snap Edit, we get this little pop-up right here. And we could do several things to this image through this Snap Edit. So the first thing we could do is we could turn this into a plain black and white image. We could turn this into what looks like a little old-timey photo. Now, in some cases, you can put like a little bit of an overlay on it, maybe come down to the saturation and maybe play around with the saturation just a little bit or something. The overlay on images don't always look good, so you may want to play around with that. Maybe not so much with the colorization. You may have to really play around with that, but those are just some of the different things that these can do. Really, the overlay and the colorization work best with clip art. We'll show that here in just a little bit. So some of the things you can do is come over here to this tab right here, Mask. And then under Mask, you have like Smart Eraser or Regular Eraser. You have Uneraser, which we'll show that here in a second. And then you have brush size. You can adjust the size of the brush, so you can go to the small little brush like right here, slide it all the way over, and you'll see this larger brush. Then we have the transparent area. Right here we have either transparent or black and white, which we'll show both of them here in a second. So it could be that maybe you don't want this area right here behind the student. You want to do something a little more creative. We can show you something here real quick. So let's up our brush size here real quick, and let's just get the large area taken out, because we can always come back and we can fine tune this here, but we want to get at least a large portion of this area out. So we're going to bring our brush down just a little bit. Here we have zoom in, zoom out, and then we have reset the default size. So we can zoom in and then reset the default size if we need to. So we're going to zoom in just a little bit, and we're just going to fine tune this, and I'm going to speed up the video here so that way we can get to the rest of the information, and you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. Okay, so now that we're done, we can go ahead and hit save. Now this will save it as a copy. It will not save over the original image. The original image will be left alone. It will just save this as an additional copy. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And then here you can see that it has the transparency. So we can always go back to the photo right here, and here you will see that the original image is, nothing's happened to the original image. Original image is right here. We just have a copy of it right here. So we can always go back to this original image. We want to do something different to it. Let's go back to Snap Edit. Let's go back to Mask. In here we talked about transparency, but let's talk about the black and white. Alright, so using the black and white mask, what we can do is we can actually put a mask on everything in the background right here, and actually turn that into a black and white image with leaving the color or the focus right here. In this photo right here we have the focus on the student. We can leave this one in color right here and all their work. Now let's talk about the Unrace tool here real quick before we move on. If for any reason that your putting a mask on here and you slip and you get this right here, what you can do is we can zoom in. Then we can focus on this area right here. We can lower our brushes a little bit and we click on unerase. What unerase will do is as we are clicking and holding and then moving our mouse here, we're actually unerasing. We're removing that mask over this photo. And we can do that right there and see we're actually bringing this photo back to the original just by removing that mask. And then while we're here, you can always click back on erase and just kind of get that little fine tune right here. And we can kind of fine tune that image just a little bit more. So when we hit save, this will save it as a copy. All right, and there we go. So here we have at the bottom, we have the transparency mask. So we can add a transparency and add something decorative like this. Here we have in the top one, we have the black and white mask. So we could actually highlight or feature something just by putting a black and white on the back and leaving the focus or the feature, or in this case, the student with the sculpture. We can leave that in color and kind of focus our attention on that. So just one little creative design right here. Now, the great thing about some of the the features in the Snap Edit is you have a photo right here with a lot of blank space at the top. This is where you can actually take this image right. So we can come over here with the transparency, and then with a steady hand, you can kind of come over and erase this top part. Move that brush size up a little bit, and then you take a little bit more here. Like I said, you might be able to get a little more of a steadier hand than myself here, and then kind of reduce that a little bit so that way you can focus more on the image. You don't have a lot of this blank spot right here, and then we could just save it. And then here we have a little bit less of that image. Like I said, take that blank spot right there, and then you can always move another image right there. So this way it doesn't look, it looks purposeful. It looks like the image was actually taken like that. It doesn't look like it was edited in any way. So just a way to maybe save a little bit of room right there. So let's look at our clip art right here. Here we just have one of our regular clip arts. So let's say you want it in a different color, or you just want it to look differently, or modify it just slightly. So let's look at overlay, and let's look at colorize. So let's click on Snap Edit, and let's first look at overlay. So we're going to look at overlay. Now, one thing to remember with overlay, some images or some clip art may not work with certain colors. Like if you were to choose black, all you're looking at is just a silhouette. So that's one thing to take into consideration. So if you wanted it a little bit darker, you may want to come over down here to the grayscale side and maybe choose a grayscale, and maybe come down here to contrast and kind of change it up just a little bit. So there, if you wanted, if you had a chess team or whatever, and you wanted to do one of the chess pieces in black, another chess piece in white. So this may be a little bit closer to what you would want right here. And like I said, you can actually save this as a copy, or just click save, and it will actually save it onto the page. And you can always go back and get another chess piece from our clip art and redo another one. You can also do different color overlays. So say you wanted in this kind of a red color right here, and the overlay, you can always bring it down a little bit. So maybe you don't want it as so much of a red color. Maybe you want to tone it down just a little bit, so you can bring it back and give it a little bit of a red hue to it. With colorize, you can colorize the whole thing, and we could choose a different color here. We can choose like a maybe this blue color, and maybe bring it down just a little bit right here. Maybe make it a little bit of like a pewter color. Or we can come down here to maybe this little red right here, and let's bring this down just a little bit. See what contrast we can do. Just a little bit of, kind of a little bit of like a little brass color right here. Maybe change the saturation just a little bit. There we go. So maybe we could do just a little bit of a brass color on there. So you can always play around with the brightness, contrast, saturation, the color, and the overlay on something like this and change the color of it as you wish. Now there are certain clip art, such as this one right here. If you bring it onto a page, you can't really see it, or you maybe it's in its certain colors, but you want it in a color that's not available. So you can always click on it. So this clip art in particular, all of them are done in white, but you want something in your own school colors or something like that. So we can click on here. We come up to Snap Edit. We can click on Overlay, and then here simply just find the color you want. Right here, and just click on Save. And there you have it. You have it in the blue that you want it. Resize it, put it anywhere you want it, and then you can just use it from there. And there we go. So we changed this clip art around just a little bit, added a text box. We can make our own little custom header here and add our book day photos down below as we see fit. So finally, what we can't do is we can add a lot more creativity. So here we have our own mascot photo right here. And let's say we want to spruce this up a little bit. We want to add something. So let's get rid of these right here. Let's bring our mascot photo right here. And we're going to go to Snap Edit. Now, on larger images, it may take a while for it to load. So just be patient. This image in particular is a larger image. So we're just going to give it a minute. And there we go. It's now loaded. Yes, colorized will work a lot better. So this was an awareness page. All right, and so let's do this. Let's come over to mask. And then let's go with brush size. Let's go transparent. And then, there we go. And then we're just going to zigzag. We're just going to do something like that. And we're going to click on save. Okay, so there we go. Now, we're going to go back to our images here. And we're going to actually go up to where our mascot image is. We're going to bring this back over. And then we're going to bring this back up top right here. We're going to stretch it back out. All right, and then we're actually going to go up to arrange here, and we're going to send it to the back. So right here, we can have a regular image with our image that we just did. So we can add a little, kind of spruce this up a little bit. Here, I'm actually going to select this. I'm going to go up to group right here, and I'm actually going to click on group. So here we go, without losing both of them, so they both will stay together. So this, you could do this kind of like I said, like an awareness event, or you can just do it differently. Here we go. We're going to select all of these. We're going to group it. And so here we go with kind of a red, white, and blue. So if you have an event that you need red, white, and blue, I mean, here's a red, white, and blue mascot, or really any event that you need multiple colors. So this is more or less just taking an image, adding a color layer to it or colorization to it, adding, taking it over to the transparency, maybe erasing a few things, adding just a little bit here and there, and just layering those different colors on top of each other. Then once you're done, you can always select them all, either arrange and group, or come over here to the toolbar that was there and click on group and group those images together. And so this is just something that you can do just to kind of add a little bit of creativity to it. Have people think that you took it into photo editing and did it, but you didn't. You did it right here in the inside the program with the simple tool Snap Edit. Keep in mind though that Snap Edit will not work with images that are grouped. So if you go to Snap Edit and it's not available, please look and see if you have your images grouped. All you have to do is just ungroup it, select one, and then Snap Edit comes back. But like we said, Snap Edit works with probably about 99% of our clip art. For any reason you need assistance, you can always call in. We can always help out. And